President Trump has been very vocal this past week about his outrage over an anonymous op-ed reportedly penned by a senior member of his administration. So Phil Matier and I asked former San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown what he would have done if someone had anonymously published a letter about him while he was in office.
I would be very, very disappointed. I would try to find out who the traitor to my administration really is, and I would make sure that that person found new employment.
But if you had an agenda and there was somebody actively thwarting it, don't you think you would know? If people are taking things off your desk, if you said, I want to do X, and there's a document, and then it disappears, do you think you would have discovered that?
Only if you're smart. If you're not smart, you may not even notice that that paper's been removed. I, on the other hand, notice whether or not my chair has been touched.
Okay, but on that note, is it that uncommon for executives to have people around them that said, wait, that's going too far? You don't necessarily confront the executive with it. You just walk out of the room and say, this is what we're going to do. What he meant to do is this or something like that?
But, Phil, that's what an assistant really should do. I love the fact that my friend Eleanor Johns and PJ always argued with me, kept me, and you know that, because PJ used to explain to you when you'd ask him questions, what did he say? And they would explain what I meant, and that was important. And they were loyal, and they kept it that way. But they were never part of anyone who was trying to undermine, even if I was totally incompetent. They did not try to undermine me.
But, Melissa, you've covered politics. Undermining your boss or making you the hero. I mean, how many times have you interviewed people and all of a sudden you walk away, oh, you're the hero of that, the governor of this, that is the boob, and you're the brains.
That's true. Look, and this always happens, but it just maybe seems like it's because it's so high profile, because we're not just talking about a pothole, we're talking about trade agreements that were being removed from his desk, allegedly. Issues like that, the stakes are so high, the normal office politics, just big implications for that.
This guy's unique. They all know that he doesn't read. There's no question he doesn't read. So what's on his desk? You removed it because it's cluttering up the opportunity, period. And it should be removed.
You know, when that op-ed piece came out, I thought extraordinary and unprecedented. My question is, do we figure out who this person is in a matter of weeks or months or years or decades?
I think in a matter of years. It seemed like this person was writing this in an effort to sort of cover themselves. So if and when something truly terrible happens, they can say, I told you so, or, I made this statement. And so maybe at the end of this Trump presidency, whether that be in 2 years or 6 years, I think that's when we'll know. But I don't think we'll know before that person wants us to. And it was showtime in Washington, D.C. this week as Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh was questioned by lawmakers. And two senators making headlines during those hearings were California's own Dianne Feinstein and Kamala Harris. So Phil Matier and I asked former San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown how they do.
Incredible, let me tell you. Those two U.S. senators, one, the ranking member of the Judiciary Committee, she was measured, Feinstein. She was measured, she was appropriate, she stayed with her script. And then the anchor tenant of that committee on the Democratic side, and the last person to ask anybody any questions was Kamala Harris. And believe me, on the first day, she was incredible. She destroyed him. He was prepared, literally, to talk about theory and decisions he'd previously made. He was unprepared to talk about chatter and information that he had gained from cocktail
Whatever
parties.
he was prepared or unprepared, how much of this is theater? Because he is going to be confirmed.
Yes. I mean,
No, maybe. Maybe.
Mayor
Keep in
Brown.
mind. Keep in mind, if he missteps, it is clear, just as was the case with Richard Nixon, at some point, no matter how formidable you think you really are, you could misstep. And believe me, Senator Harris almost got him to misstep.
But even if he missteps, whether or not that's material enough to change anyone's vote, well, that's a different issue. Pointing out some problem with him and convincing people to change their vote.
She pointed out the problem. And it quickly went, as we do these days, viral, right? This segment. So how much of this was Kamala Harris launching her presidential bid?
I don't think any of it. Believe me, I've known Kamala Harris long enough till I've seen her do exactly to him what she has done to other people. She's really good at cross-examination. That was her forte. That was her strength. In Oakland, when she worked for that district attorney, and in San Francisco, when she was this district attorney. She was actually a trial lawyer and a good cross-examiner.
Look, first of all, it is not zero, okay? There is some percentage of that was, trying to earn the spotlight to get on those short lists. But I'll tell you, these are lengthy committee hearings. But when it came time for her to ask the questions, everyone stopped. People paid attention. Things got quiet in that room. She really.
What are you smiling
people
for?
were very interested to see what
Because
she was
that's
going
what
to do.
I have said repeatedly. She froze the room. Everybody wanted to know, what will Joe Montana do with the late Dwight Clark when he gets the ball in the last couple of seconds? That's what Kamala did.
Yeah, having said all that, I don't know if anyone landed a fatal blow to Judge Kavanaugh.
It almost seems, barring some revelation, a fait accompli in many regards.
Yeah, it does. Even those emails that were released by Senator Booker didn't seem to be able to land a punch that's going to really change people's votes and prevent the confirmation from ultimately happening, which they're scheduling the full vote on that very, very quickly. I think maybe to minimize the window for any problems.
Gotcha.